but we got matches. So with our game, means we got a map to play on. Best of 1 series, as is tradition. We'll get best of 3s until Invitational.
Yeah, and we have auto bans now because it's play day 2, and so it's based off of the bans for what was played the last time, Border and Bank. So we had no duplicates on day 1 in terms of maps. Here we're going to end up on Coastline. Should be interesting, as Empire's record hasn't been so great on that map, at least in terms of Pro League. They lost and drew the last times they played it. The very last time they played it was a pretty big loss to Chaos. Whereas,
which is just unexpected.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a decent map for them. It's the one where they went that legendary huge number of rounds when it was the infinite overtime against G2. So we know they know the map well, but BDS have had a much better record on it as of late.
All right, what do you guys think? Of course, you can vote on these polls every single time before every matchup. Go on twitter.com/ESL Rainbow 6, and that's 75 to 20 to 5%. What do you predict this one, actually?
Honestly, I would think it would be a lot closer. BDS has been playing very well. I mean, yes, they're just now in Pro League, but I think they've shown they deserve to be here. And Empire, I think some of that's just due to the old fans, some of that's due to how good they looked on Monday.
They really did look.
But I think this is going to be a bit closer than that.
I think on Monday kind of really adds some mist to the whole equation, because I think it was more Vitality not playing well.
Well, we'd seen Empire play very well in the Russian league as well, though.
Yeah, but then they play in Pro League, and it's just completely different strategies.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, so I guess they just have everything ready for whatever situation. That seems like what Empire have been since the Raleigh Major. They might not have qualified to Tokonami finals, which that loss against Chaos on this map.
That just meant more time for them to work on things.
Yeah, it really is. And then, you play a Russian Major League, you end up winning that. You're fine. You're good to go. You got your time to get to Invitational, and there's Buck.
That seems like a target ban against how Karjaka played Buck so well on Monday.
100%. I highly recommend people to go back and watch the VODs of these matches. Even if you think that it was a runaway victory for one team over another, the fact that it was such a stark victory for Empire against Vitality means that there was something working very well for Empire and a lot of mistakes from Vitality. And oftentimes you can learn a lot from those one-sided matches than you can in games that on the surface look very close in the number of rounds on its own. It doesn't really tell the whole story. That's for sure.
Good to see that Goyo hasn't become a ban yet. He's definitely been played quite a bit so far.
You should see, like, Emso literally right now is just eyeing every single time somebody plays Goyo.
It's because I think it is a very influential operator, but I think people are still figuring it out.
I completely agree. And I can't wait until somebody actually plays it to all of its strengths. Yeah. So you can break it down. I want to see Reaper making a video about it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's now's the time, because we've been waiting so long with that delay. And there is Goyo, at least if he doesn't get 6th pick off from Raval. That's going to be for Hookah. That seems like a pretty good candidate for a Goyo. There's a couple of good choke spots, not to mention default plant spots that you can kind of deny. The 6th pick is going to come out, but it's actually from Mozzie to Valkyrie. Now, against Empire, Mozzie seems like a better choice, honestly. But Valkyrie is still pretty strong on this map.
Yeah, I think a couple days ago, what Kixen and Terror were saying was something I highly agree with, is that on a lot of maps, if you're playing against Empire, bringing Mozzie Mute is almost necessary.
I think it's absolutely worth it.
Yeah,
the return on investment is high against Empire.
Because they're just so good at droning. And one thing I really noticed with Empire is not only are they good at droning during the round, but they set up their drones early on in the prep phase so well that by the time we're hitting those crucial moments in the half round and beyond, their drones are close to the positions where they should be. They didn't get destroyed. They're very good at conserving them and leaving them until the right moments. Yeah. And it really catches a lot of players off guard.
Yeah. It's definitely something to keep an eye on. Some good Goyo shield placement already as well. You got one right by the default plant spot, right where you want it, because it's going to be pretty easy to shoot that and stop them from planting default plant, which is good, because if smokes come out to try and block, you've got the Maestro cams being able, those will likely be taken out. So you just pretty much hit the shield at that point, delay them so that they can't use their own Capital Fire and smoke to be able to go for a plant. But they could also go for planting inside Hookah instead. It's interesting to see the Hibana get banned as well. This is not a map that needs hard breachers, but if you get a big one, it's almost always a Hibana. especially for this bomb site, because you can open up some of the wall near the cocktail bar there to be able to kind of get some angles onto the player in there.
I like this. This is good from BDS because once they saw the Empire ban the Habana, then they don't really need to have the mute, but there's the first drop. Now RXWD is going to get finished off. Yeah, there you go. Kajeka will be the first one to land it. He's so low on HP, but he's done the work.
The important thing, though, is he's still going to play the sledge and still have the grenades, but he can't hit the floor from below the same way he would if he was able to bring that buck that they banned.
Shaiko's going to keep straying through the wall, but it's Shepard to find Renshiro. So now 2 down, and that was the Maestro. How did he even find him? Did he just go up and peek him through the hookah doorway? That was... I don't know if that was completely worth it there, but BDS find themselves in a very tough position right now.
Shaiko already at half health, too. It's looking really good for Empire here.
Oh, he's watching one for the cross, and is that Rafal? Yeah, he just keeps firing with TCSG. Alems in the meantime will find joystick. There's a nitro cell to Dan. We're not going to see a run out just yet. I wonder if there's somebody covering here with Dan, but it's Shepard that actually is covering by the billiards big window. Kajeka's joining in. You see the shield. Just make sure nobody is in Aqua, and that is clear. The Zofia is upstairs in the meantime. Scyther is just covering for any runouts, actually from the bar.
Well, with Kajeka at such low health, it's not going to be too hard to even this up to a 3-3. But Rafal also has lost quite a bit of health as well as Shaiko, so this really could go either way at this point. 51 seconds left. There's still quite a lot of time to set this up. They have to make sure they clear those Maestro Evil Eyes. You saw one below the pool table. So look, and I imagine Scythe already cleared that. He gets caught a little bit more, but the shield works in his favor here.
He finds one headshot onto Alems, and another he drops the Jaeger and finishes him off. But Rafal will give away his position, and he gets shot in the back. Shepard walks on in very swiftly there into Hookah. He's going to be the one to find the last kill. There you go. That's a great angle. And the fact that Scyther just walked in, jumped over, and instantly headshot the smoke sitting behind the minibar.
It's how he was playing on Monday as well. He's playing a very aggressive Ashe that, you know, we've seen, or not even Ashe this time.
Yeah, he just runs Zofia, whatever it is.
It's Dan's back on that Ashe.
Is there a gun? Yes.
Click. Win. I mean, while it ended up, you know, with quite a couple of members of Empire dying, it wasn't a flawless round for them. That seemed like a very dominant round for Empire. I mean, yeah, they took their hits back, but they kept pushing. I mean, you saw they didn't even really go for a plant. Usually you see them try to set up for a plant, the default spot in billiards. No, let's just push up and kill everyone and just take it. Like, it wasn't even a let's set up for a plant kind of strat. It was just let's kill everyone because we know where they're positioned. We can box them in. So that was very impressive. We're going to see Goyo try it again here. Got one shield already placed next to the B bomb inside Sunrise Bar. 2 more shields, of course, to be able to play. One thing we do often see so far with Goyo is often another operator bringing a deployable shield as well. On top of that, it's usually the smoke, and in case you see RXWD is doing that. It just seems when you're already going to be bringing 3 shields that explode, bringing one that doesn't seems to really benefit teams. And I feel like it's kind of funny that one operator has actually changed the secondary gadget of smoke. Because it's often smoke now doing it, and it's very common to see it combined with Goyo. It also makes it so they have to drone to see which shields are worth killing, because they don't necessarily know until you drone to the backside, is this an exploding shield or not?
That's true. I think the position of the shield as well can give that away, right? Just because,
sometimes,
maybe if it's set in a bit more of an open area, you're like, okay, this is a Goyo shield.
You know, it varies though too, because so many players are using it just as cover as well. Because you get 3 of them, you don't have to set them all in positions where it's about blowing them up. But with Maestro in play as well, I think it makes even more of a difference where you position those to be able to hit those with an Evil Eye. If you can, because that hugely benefits you, because you can remotely detonate them completely safe.
Dan chucking in his flashbangs. Stun grenades will just burn off the ADSs. And he's going to sit in the same position we saw him at before. He's got Shepard as well in support. So you can see the crossbow bolts coming out later on. And he throws one in the back here, charge to destroy the shield, but it at least hits Alems, and he's going to heal himself back up. So just trading off the damage, and a crossbow bolt also used in the back. So this is burning a decent chunk of utility off of Empire, but the dock has been forced to drop down. So, oh, what is this? Rafal. Okay. He just gets pushed by Kajeka. There's nobody to help him. The Barbarian didn't even do anything to him. It wasn't even covering the entirety of the hallway. You'd think he was a defender at this point. Shaiko will find 1 kill though on the Scyther, and Shaiko another one on the joystick, but Karjeka with the refrag drops him. 3v3 with the Lems. Where is he? He's going to be droned as we speak. Shepard is verifying the site is clear here in Hookah. And all 3 players being downstairs. This will help BDS so much, and so much damage done to Dan. The smoke is still available, which means every bit of damage is going to matter so much.
This is actually a pretty good position for BDS to be in. Yes, they've lost top 4 control, but low health for Dan especially. And the fact that Empire tend to play off strength in numbers. Now the numbers aren't there as much for them, but they did kill Shaiko, and that is a good start for them because he is definitely a strong fragger for that team, so that will definitely help. I like that Empire, though, brought all 5 operators with strong utility, not a single one of them just about the gun. So they are well positioned here to be able to have a lot of utility. He sees the Goyo shield from above. He could detonate it right now if he wants to as well, because he did potentially have an angle on that gas canister.
You assume it blew up there. The grenade won't roll. But Karjeka at least will be zoning out some of the defenders. There you go, you see the Goyo shield that was just destroyed with all the flames around. Karjeka will reload and drop on down to contest. Difficult angle, but at least will allow his teammates to walk in. But Lems will find 1 kill on Dan. The kills you're looking for? No, there's the drop. But Lems gets another one on the Karjeka, and Shepard is the last man alive. He actually gets the plant down, but runs away, gets tagged through the wall. 3 of them. They're trying to line up here. Renshiro will be the first one to fall. Shepard, the clutch master, as he's called. He can save the round here, but he's going to contest with an ACOG probably. Can he win the gunfight? Oh, he did not spot the player around the corner, and there's the drop. Shepard's out, Lems gets the 3K, and that's the round save. BDS tie up 1-1.
Definitely a pretty good round there for BDS. Shaiko's 2K, though, that's what really changed the match here, because it was looking like Empire were just doing what they wanted to do, especially Karjeka just running up, getting the player behind the shield.
Yep.
And again, the barbed wire, this is the second time the barbed wire has done almost nothing to slow them down. They just steamroll through, but Shaiko picking off 2, that was the start that they needed. Then from there, Dan getting shotgunned from below as well, getting taken such low health. And then just too many players lost trying to get the plant down. That's what you need to do against a team like Empire. But get 2 early picks.
What do you think is allowing Empire, specifically Karjeka, to just walk down the hallway and not be contested?
I think some of it's good intel as well. I think they really have some idea where the players are playing generally before they push in like that. We don't always see the drones moving forward because it depends on who we're looking at. But I think these guys are doing a great job. And one thing I feel like Empire are really good at is sectioning off areas of the map so they don't have to sit there and second guess, is there players here? They will section off areas of the map, take that area of the map, and they're very quick about establishing map control, covering their flanks, and then just clearing. And then from there executing. And I think not every team is good at that. Some teams get a little sloppy, they get flanked from different spots because they're not doing good flank control, or they're trying to do too many different jobs at once. Whereas Empire, I think they just push behind those drones, get that map control until someone like Shaiko all of a sudden opens things up. And then things slow down for Empire after that. So they're definitely going to have to watch out for him. He has been strong on Jaeger, especially on Monday as well. So that is the one to drone for and try and stop him early. I think if they could do that consistently, could be a little bit better. They do have the Mozzie this time here from RXWD, no mute to go with it, but the Mozzie itself is definitely going to do quite a bit of denial. But they're, again, leaning on this Goyo shield here to try and help slow things down for Empire, and I think it's worth doing. Again, with the Maestro unbanned, it's a good combo that they could be taking advantage of.
Maybe this will turn into the same game with V where they...
There we go.
Yeah, there's one for Dan, Shaiko, and Karjeka will find another. Okay. All right, there's the entries, I guess.
Yeah. And that's the Mozzie down as well, so even if you lose a drone, it's not going to be remotely controlled at least. You can just watch through it. So that's pretty good of a start, especially with the Shaiko kill early. And only a little bit of damage taken on Karjeka. This is looking like it could go for another potential flawless round. Well, not another, but another round for them. That could be flawless.
See, this is what I was saying before all the action happened, is that this is starting to turn into Navi's matchup against Force a couple of days ago, where Goyo was in play, but every time he didn't really have an effect, and it seems like everything was built around him, but wasn't really able to do much, and it was just bypassed completely.
I mean, it's nice to have those shields to be able to fight from behind. You saw how Karjeka dealt with this player here inside Cocktail last time. The shield didn't do him any good because you got to peek to be able to shoot. You can't just shoot through the shield. and they just take advantage of it. They seem to be on top of capitalizing when those peaks come out. Right now, a bit of a droning phase, though. Now that they've established control, they've got man advantage, time to take the map and start to press them, find out where all the players are playing. They know at least one behind the shield and cocktail. They know there's probably going to be one either Cool Vibes or inside Hookah. They've got Aqua control, they've got the window, Joystick finds the Lems. It's just down to these last two to able to try and fight this. Two strong operators, but Rafael is a bit off-site down below. So it's really going to be on Renshiro, and he almost, well, he does find Shepard, but Dan, trading it off, this is not BDS winning this round.
Yeah, the Nitro Cell is already used here by Rafael, and it did not hit anyone. So they should know where he's at. He's making a lot of noise. And the moment he taps anything, he's expecting maybe somebody on the rappel, but it's not here. That's not it, Chief. They're already away. They're planting on top of the pool table. In case you even spawn another Nitro Cell, they're opening up more of the wall. You get one kill, but Joystick is just ready for you, holding on to the blue stairs. This Cool Vibes. And even the shield at the end works against the defense.
Yeah, it's good to see Joystick having a bit more success with the... why am I blanking on the name now all of a sudden? The operator.
Nomad?
Nomad, yes. He had played it a bit in the past, and I don't feel like he was having a lot of success with it before. Seems to be doing a little bit, still getting killed occasionally, but just a bit more effective. We were talking about him being a support player, and that was more talking about him as Thatcher. But he's definitely found, I mean, this is a strong operator on this map in general. You see Gridlock or you see Nomad cutting off those rotations, being able to cover your flanks with a gadget, so no one has to sit there ADS'd onto a corner. Definitely makes a difference. And it seems to be working for them so far. It's really just the bar that they struggled with, because the top-down control didn't do them enough good. And we'll see if that ends up being the problem here. For this, the top four site, Hookah, has not been a problem for them at all. This is what I wonder though. Are they going to be able to take top floor control of VIP, Penthouse quickly, and turn that into something that hits them hard on the site? Or is it going to be another stall out and losing players from Shaiko like we saw in the second round? It's entirely possible to go either way, but it's good to see that they want to go downstairs and be able to fight this multi-floor, which worked a little bit better for them. They also have the Legion this time to be able to slow them down a little bit more than Barbed Wire was able to, I think.
Yeah. I think it's a very wise decision. You go for the Legion, you make sure that, hey, if we're going to get pushed in any sort of hallway, we at least will know what's going on. Maybe we can slow them down. At this point, anything will help.
Yeah.
And you got to try it.
I mean, it's only 1 point behind, but it's just the performance from Empire. It seems so dominant that it feels like a 4-1 right now.
Yeah, it really does. Okay, the standard old school peak. There's nobody playing inside of the bathroom. A couple bits of the big window upstairs have dropped to the floor. This will alert Empire that, hey, maybe there is someone that we'll need to deal with inside of the penthouse. They wouldn't be wrong in that assumption. You see there's a reinforcement spotted. So wise from Scyther, but even wiser there. Just bringing RXWD, playing with his Mossy. It's gonna give him some extra information, at least denying that singular drone. Every bit helps, especially for a team like Empire, where they rely so much on diligent droning.
Yeah.
That, one drone or two away here and there, it can also really start to
I mean, the thing that's going to work the most, though, is being able to help give Shaiko extra information. I think good dodge.
That was a dodge and a half there, and there's the second stun grenade to burn off the ADS, escaping the damage that might be coming their way. And on the Ash.
Joystick, so close.
Oh, there you go. They're so close. They're firing right into him, and the Maestro's trying to hold down the angle all on his own. Renshiro will be forced back for just a bit. And there's the flange bang to confirm it. The drone will come in, and he spot the entire setup in 90. Grenade will come in. That was an alibi. In use, and behind the shield. Oh, no. It works against him. Katajeka gets one, but it's Shaiko. The refrag onto Dan. The Ash is lost for the alibi, but Shaiko dropped as well. Thanks to Scyther and Joystick with another on Renshiro. The Maestro playing so calmly inside of these back stairs. And now he's dead. RXWD and the Lems, the last two alive. There might be goon mines everywhere, but it's not going to do much for you when the rest of your team is dead.
Yeah, looking pretty good again for Empire.
Oh my god.
RXWD still at 0 frags, I believe. Unable to really put much on the board outside of stealing a drone.
This is the Empire we've known before, and there's everything being triggered in the face of Ralems. The Gizmots are out, and they know where he is. Although has 2 angles of entry, both of them will be covered. Joystick is the one providing the Overwatch, and Lems is going to go down. Empire, I mean, that was a round.
Yeah.
That was start to finish, Empire in control.
I mean, especially the fact that they traded Jaiko. He was able to get the 1 kill, but then immediately traded. That just shut down any momentum they would be able to get. Going back to Bar here is definitely the smart choice. The only site they were successful on. They couldn't go back to it till now. Maybe they'll be able to get the second point here, but this is a map that could definitely be attacker dominated, especially when you've got operators like Nomad able to lock down any rotations.
And that's what I want to talk about. We didn't really see the Nomad being effective in terms of the gadgetry, but how is he having an impact on this?
I mean, it's
other
the
than
threat,
the
right? Because you can't, if you know they're locking down certain rotations, you have to make those rotations carefully. There might even be air jabs going off that we're not hearing just because we're not close enough to it.
True.
But it's the threat. Much like with Gridlock, a lot of times it's just the threat of detection, especially with such an aggressive team like Empire, being able to actually just turn on a dime on that information and land a kill off of it. Like, at this point, if you're BDS, you know if you get air jabbed, you're pretty much dead immediately. So they have to work very carefully, but it's also Empire using the gun as well. I mean, Joystick's able to hit his shots with that gun. It's a very strong gun, so it's not just about the utility, but the thing is, that's what I was saying earlier, is all 5 of these operators bring useful utility.
And one thing I want to check, Marcio, if you can, where did LM's position his bulletproof camera? Oh, there you go, in the hallway. So, thank you so much. So BDS have understood, finally, that is a problem.
That plus the evil eyes.
So information, just gathering it so they know where to predict Empire will be coming from. That's going to be the name of the game. Will it work? That's the big question.
Yeah.
Empire, in the meantime, know that because they put BDS on the back foot, this might be a position they can exploit where BDS will just be afraid constantly.
Yeah. They are playing a little bit predictably, though, doing pretty much the same positions they had previously. Dan, for example, was repelling on this last time as well. They did take Hookah itself pretty quickly and opened up the floor pretty quickly as well. It's just turning that into something. That's where they struggle, is at actually attacking. I'd almost like to see a bit more pressure from the blue bar, especially if they can not lose players early on this time. Maybe that will work in their favor. But again, they've got to find Jaiko early. The rounds where they can do that, they're able to dominate a lot more in terms of like just a loose cannon being shut down. And of course, that extra intel from Bulletproof Camera will help contribute to that, but the actual player of Alems will not, as he's taken out, as well as some Firebolt there to make sure no one's playing behind that bar as they did previously. That cap towel really worked out. And again, the same shield placement, the same player playing behind it, inside Cocktail, it has just not been working out for them back there.
Now look at it on the bright side. At least the Lems can now sit back and watch his own camera in the meantime.
That's true.
If it's still even up. Now you might tend to believe that this is a top floor defense in billiards, but it's not the case downstairs in the bars, but you still have to invest a lot of utility on the top floor. That's exactly what's happening here from BDS. Losing the dock is not great, but Nitro Cell also has been expended. Karjika missing the wall, but he'll be able to destroy it here. Rafal will trade against Joystick, but it's Dogoyo off for the Nomad, and I'd expect by this point that all the traps would have been used. The pre-firing Karjika, what a shot onto Renshiro. That's the Maestro, again, ineffective. And 2 players left from BDS against the 4 of Empire. I think we're falling into some sort of repeat scenario.
Yeah, this is though where they struggled a little bit, but this time they have a little bit more manpower. It's 4 versus 2 instead of 3v3. So this is looking like a huge advantage Empire again. They just aren't able to land a lot of kills from above here, but the point is to pressure them, corral them into certain positions that allows then your attackers down below to start to pressure from the doorways. But time management is key here. Dan watching an angle, but it works. There goes Jaiko. Now it's all down to RXWD, who has been able to find a single kill. He's finished off by Dan, who just comes off the kill on Jaiko. This is working so well for Empire here. This is not the Empire on Coastline that we saw last season.
No, this is Empire on another level. At least in online play, and I really want to highlight this. Like, online play is really different than how you play on LAN. But this is the great start to the season you're looking for. You want to make sure that you're taking wins against, especially the teams you're going to be probably fighting against for the top 2 spots in the region. And not only winning, but winning with as much of a round differential as humanly possible.
Yeah.
Because that 7-1 against Vitality that they had actually works so well on Empire's side because they get the 3 points, plus they make sure that one of the top-rated teams for this season is going to have a hard time against them should they tie in points, because when you tie in points, the next thing that breaks the tie is your head-to-head score with the team that you're tied with.
Winning that first match against a strong team like BDS is a great way to start the season. I mean, obviously things could change when side switch, but speaking of switching, Scyther, 6 picked over to the Lion. Possibly counterplay to people like Shaiko, able to move around a little too flexibly. That combined with the Nomad should really shut down the roam play here. Now this is a site where I don't think they've really needed to change anything. Hookah, they've been pretty much dominating on their performance, which is, it's almost odd to see BDS try it a third time. Honestly, I would think have a penthouse strat at this point, because the other sites haven't been working that good. And well, Bard just got torn apart that last time. Hookah has always been the component where they're able to clear it pretty easily with the utility that they bring. They're not going to have the Sophia this time, though, so it'll be interesting to see if they're able to do a bit more. But Goyo not being played this time also means they don't need the Sophia as much, because it's a little bit less to take out. They still have the Maestro Evilize to take out, but that could be Dan's job, or Krajeka with those nades. So plenty of utility still, as this has been a very utility-heavy lineup. So we'll see if Scyther's Lion play here catches them off guard. I mean, they're not going to know it for some time that he's playing that line, because it was a 6th pick. And unless you go outside and look up for that drone, you're not necessarily going to know that the Lion's in play till you hear his gun. Which most of the guns being unique for the most part, with a few exceptions, you can usually get an idea who's playing what just from the gun sounds. And
man, Dan is on a mission right now.
Yeah.
This is Solid Snake on a different level.
This is such a common Ashe entry spot, too. Just take from here, you can contain, you can move forward, you can drone for yourself. There's rarely going to be anyone...
Oh my god!
Totally anticipated.
Just... Oh my!
He's gonna be watching the kill cam. You know, I know there's no kill cam, but he's gonna be watching this death, just be like, "What just happened?"
I think Kick said this a couple of days ago. If these 5 people from Empire go up and play in ranked, the only response you get is cheater, 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 because they're just so good at what they're doing. Nobody even noticed that the drone was even there, and yet when you noticed, it was too late. You're already dead. This is basically how they're playing right now. They're now checking for every single Maestro cam, and he still does a lot of damage. Krajeka staying alive and half HP off of RXWD.
That was not good
great,
play, though.
Not great, but he's still alive. That's the important part.
Well,
he
was.
How do he even does that?
Good night.
There's the E1D being used, and that will allow Empire to get a bit closer to their target. Utility used in the back, and Nitro Cell will be expended. They're checking for the cool vibe stairs, and Dan should come around to slap the face. There's Rafal, and then Shepard for the last 2. Flawless from Team Empire. They are, I mean, I don't even know how to describe this right now. This is...
At this point, the first couple rounds just feels like a warm-up to that point. I mean, we'll see. Now, side switch.
Yeah.
This is where things could change.
There's the first half of T-Hunt done. We'll be able to, like, look at this shot. I mean, he plans it so perfectly. He knows what's happening. He distracts with the flashbang, and there's the shot. It was perfectly timed. Dan the man.
Yeah. Well, we'll see a bit different lineups here. The attacking lineup especially a little bit different with the gridlock and an IQ. And then on defense, we're going to see a pulse. So they're definitely changing things up. Oh, no, never mind. 6th picked over the mute. We're going to have that mute Mozzie combo then. They are going to have the gridlock pretty much replacing what the Nomad was doing in terms of locking down rotations.
Honestly, imagine Siege if you didn't have drones.
Well, remember Siege back when you could only have one out at a time.
That's true.
It's such a different...
I think Zoronic remembers that very well.
It's like between the defense and the attack, like the intel game is just, it gets higher and higher in this game. And that is honestly one of the best parts of this game is the intel, the tactics that come out from that as the round unfolds versus other games where it might just be, a little bit about team communication, but mostly about, how you go through the map and how you play is just in terms of fragging out. This game's so much more about thinking smart, game sense, communication, just on-the-fly tactics, and really like staying on top of what you're doing at all times. Intel factors that so much, but the big thing is that means dead players are always contributing.
Yeah. Once you've had a taste, you can't get enough.
Yeah.
That's definitely it. Well, we continue on. As I said, we're at the second half of this matchup, and right now, Empire are looking for the second 7-1 of the season. But there's the entry. All right, RXWD will be the first one to find a frag, and that's Scyther out of this round.
He might have been going for a peek, or that might have just been a lucky hit through the window when he was just shooting the window.
It's possible. I don't know where the Valkyrie dropped, but It's definitely possible. See a body somewhere.
No, I assumed he was at that window, but I guess not. Karjeka, though, with a nice refrag on Shaiko. That's going to be the Ash down with that C4. Nicely done.
So entryway here, and I like how RXWD is trying to control here from the circle couch, but he needs Rafal to really guide the Mozzie into him.
Yeah, they're just trying to corral at this point, but unfortunately, you got to land your shots. If you don't land your shots, it doesn't do a whole lot of good. He is trapped at the moment, tries to get away, does so.
Karjeka is ducking and weaving around everything, and all of that movement, the crouching, the moving from side to side, that's really difficult to predict. And there's joystick. We all forget.
Joystick on Jaeger.
Yeah, Jaeger joystick is just a hell of a combination, and because you're so distracted, this is where he pounces. And now it's a one-man advantage for Empire. They might have taken damage, but it's okay, because both the Sledge and the Ash are dead.
IQ doing some work here, at least in trying to identify the site setup, but it is a man advantage for Empire here.
Oh my god. Dan knows what's up. There's the SMG-11, and he's going to get pushed. This is Zofia using her utility. Alems, for the love of God. You've got the utility, but no, he's actually going to go and contest from the rooftop. Maybe you catch somebody on the cross. No, okay, this is how he's going to cross it over into Aqua.
Here we go, the pinch between him and Rafal.
RXWD is going on for the vault here. There's the Gizmot landing inside of Aqua. And also make sure that this part of the site is clear. So the traditional Valkyrie camera inside of Aqua is going to get destroyed. Joystick is actually looking for peeks onto the roof, but there's nobody in there. Down Supreme Fire through the wall. They're looking for the push. There's one bit, and the second one didn't actually bounce. Karjeka, beautiful bullet hole. Another one for Karjeka to make it a 3K, and RXWD is the last man alive. He's going up the staircase. Dan is going for the fire. His utility being used. Karjeka will get shot down, but Joystick confirms the kill. RXWD is out, and Empire secure the round off of Joystick's beautiful roam, but also Karjeka's so important picks. I mean, the man can do it. It's attack, defense, intel or not. Well, every player on this team just seems to be so good at identifying where their opponents would be
and
knowing how
like
to deal with it.
I think it's a little bit easier because it's
100%.
a more constrained map, but they are on top of it. I got to imagine the communication is probably flawless.
And you might be looking at this like, what is this orchestra? Beautiful orchestra and music. It's like going and spending the entire night just listening to some Tchaikovsky or Korsakov, and you're like, this is amazing. How every single move, every single step that they make is calculated, it's predicted. It's just beautiful to watch this sort of play, and you might be saying like, oh, why are they so biased to BDS? Or to Empire against BDS. Not the case at all. Look at what Empire are doing. They are manhandling BDS just as much, if not better, than what they did against Vitality.
We've seen this Empire going back to when me and you did the Milan EU Cup. And how good they've been since then. They had a little bit of a slump the second half of S10, but outside of that, this is the Empire we expect at this point. But I gotta say, the community was looking like they might have been right if there's no comeback here, because
5 seconds left.
This is looking a bit more like those percentages we saw.
You say the slump after Season 10. By slump, we mean they...
Not winning every single...
Yeah, they won the Rally Major, and then they couldn't make it to Tokoname because there were only 2 spots, and Navi just kind of snuck in there near the end of it. So, with G2 and Empire both hot on their tail, it's like, eventually... someone is going to have to go.
Oh, so close to Shaiko on top of it.
It's a great shot there from Shaiko. It's a great opener. You're kind of expecting it, but I think right before he went for the shot, Karjeka meleeed the barricade, and that really gave him away.
Yeah, sound is a big part of this game. Well, we'll see them slowing down a little bit here, just trying to be careful now that they've got a man advantage. They don't want to lose that. Joystick now found out and eliminated. This is looking like a round BDS could take. So far, not a scratch on Shaiko, even with 2 kills. Looking pretty good. And it's Karjeka and Joystick. Those are the 2 players that were really just making it hard for the attack last round. Those 2 eliminated early. It's all on the other players. Now, all these other players are fantastic in clutch situations, so Don't get me wrong, but this is looking much, much, much better for BDS this round, and I imagine this could end in 7-2, the way things are going.
Definitely so. Well, Shaiko right now is still the spearhead. As you said, him being alive is definitely going to help BDS. RXWD making sure that nobody can come up from those main stairs, and it's a great way of doing it. You see a lot of the holes have been opened up through the wall. They're not reinforced at all. They're meant to be more intel gathering positions as well, where you can just lie down on the floor and see when people's feet are poking out. Empire's way of playing this is we will be immensely reactive to everything that BDS are doing, and here reactive to what Renshiro was on to, just trying to destroy as much of the floorboard as possible. This will make RXWD's job a lot worse, but he still finds it. Oh, what a shot onto Dan.
He hits the tracks. It might have actually stopped them from leapfrogging out, but it traded his life for it.
Shaiko's watching, and the Lems in the meantime is planting. See the entirety of the wall here leading into the bathroom has been opened up, and the pre-fire from Scyther. He flicks away and finds the kill on Shaiko. That's your entry. And there's your 3 left in this post-plant situation. 1 on the floor. Can he find the Zofia? I believe there. Lems drops on the floor. Oh no, the edge! Lems perfectly done onto Scyther. It leaves only Shepard alive with no nitro cell. You might need to long run. Oh, you can't do it from there. Nice try, but it's done. BDS very successful in the round.
Definitely a much better round for them. But that was a very different lineup as well, and different bomb sites. So, you know, Hookah they were very strong on. They played a very different setup in terms of their operators. This time, it was that early kill on the Karjeka, and then the Swift went on to Joystick. There just wasn't, I don't know, they weren't really coming back from that, from what we saw. It seemed like those were the 2 power players in terms of flexibility on the roam. When they lost them, it was just, Shaiko kind of the spearhead pushing through the map, pretty much doing what Empire do. And then RXWD with a nice kill on the Legion as well definitely helped. So just a few misplays and mistimed plays really from Empire, but good droning as well from BDS. For example, when they caught Joystick, they were playing the way that Empire did. Follow those drones, lead them into kills. Don't just find where someone's at and then lose the drone. So Empire are gonna have to be a little more careful. That first round they did have the Mozzie. The second round they didn't, I believe, if I remember correctly. So they have the mute this time, but the mute Mozzie combo I think would be good to go back to. You don't want Shaiko to have that extra information.
No, not at all. Not the way that he's been doing things. In the previous round, really, if it weren't for his 2 entry kills, things would have been a bit different, but it was really off of Empire's mismanagement of it. I think
a lot of it was just timing, really.
Yeah, it was Karjeka that messed up his timing. Joystick also pretty much getting tapped very quickly.
It wasn't a bad play, though. He knew he was getting droned. It was expecting someone to peek, but it was just Shaiko was a bit more on top of it. And also, it was just he didn't have to peek as far, whereas Joystick was kind of out in the open there. And that was the problem. Joystick peeked it a little too wide, just kind of in the middle of the doorway. So it was a nice try, though.
Yeah, one thing that you're expecting usually when, especially BDS are on the attack, is Renshiro doing work on repels. I think in the matchup so far, there's just not been any calm that BDS can shine in.
Yeah.
And would allow Renshiro to do that sort of work. He's been getting taken down very constantly. As I say that.
As you say that.
Thank you, Renshi. You've done it. Okay, great job. There's Joystick out of the round there. And we didn't get to see him, but he says nice shot, so we'll assume it was a pretty nice shot.
Yeah, it looked like it probably was a pretty tight angle through the doorway.
Well, that's what Shaiko does. You give it an angle, and he will hold it literally until the end of time.
Well, let's see if he can get into the room here. This is where he's really struggling. He's just getting through that doorway. That shield there really working out for Dan. It might get naded here shortly. Little drone coming in just to verify the positioning, so they can go for that. And a wall bang, nice try. Almost does damage to Dan.
What's very different in this defense, for sure, from Empire is that they're kind of not even trying the Goyo setup, right? No. They saw how BDS were kind of forcing themselves into playing it and didn't work out for them at all. But here we are. Rafael will find one onto Karjeka, so that's the second operator.
Again.
That's the double entry, basically.
Yeah. And it's not even from Shaiko this time. It's the 2 other Rs.
Well, they're trying to push them away, and oh no, Dan! The wrong moment, he looks away, and now the Titan double bar is open. Scyther and Shepard are the last 2 alive, and Scyther is rotating in. through the office. There's nobody upstairs. Also used his nitro cell, so won't be able to find anyone. Renshiro with a beautiful grenade, but then gets finally eliminated by Scyther. He's just wreaked havoc on this defensive Empire in the round. You see some quick peeks around here. Nope, it's Alems actually go for the plant. There's Scyther though, denying it to 2K. He'll have to ace this round to make the W. Flashbang to come in. He gets shot in the back. Scyther was only one bullet, but from above. Actually, no. Rafal, as he drops, he finds Scyther from behind. There's the kill. There you go.
Well, things have definitely switched up here. And again, it's the loss of those two players on the entry. Losing Karjeka and then losing Joystick. This time it was the reverse, but that's the problem, is without those two really kind of shutting down at least one member of BDS early, it seems like they're falling apart a bit. The attack's really dominating in this matchup so far. Both teams have only won one defense so far. So we'll see. They're going back to Hookah, the one site that they won, now that they finally can, and they might be able to close things out here with it still being match point, having been match point for 2 rounds now. We'll see if they could do something a little bit different to be able to hold this a little bit stronger than those last 2 rounds, but this is, again, this is the bomb site that they won before, so they can do it. But now BDS are going to know a bit more about the setup, so Joystick going to have to try and stay alive along with Karjeka, and if they could do that, pretty doable here. It's really about shutting down Shaiko as well. That Ashe entry player, when they're able to kind of do their thing, it really helps. You saw how effective that was for Dan or Scyther previously. So they're going to have to play off intel as well, and then intel denial with the Mozzie. Let's see if they're able to hold this. Those Valkyrie cams also going to be a key component along with the Evil Eyes. So just a lot of eyes around the map.
5 seconds remaining.
They did go for a plant previously, so you know they want to push for that. So Aqua is definitely going to be a place to contend, because it seems like that is a bit more of a concern for BDS than it was for Empire to push into there and take from there for potential plant into Billiards. As opposed to the way Empire played it with a bit more of a pinch, taking Aqua, but also focused heavily on Hookah itself as well. See if BDS changes that up or not, as they weren't able to win that attack previously. Try to go with, again, the typical Ashe entry spot here. You got to know this is coming. And this is not just 1 or 2 teams. A lot of teams Ashe entry from here. It's hard to contest. It's a good long angle. Again, hardly anyone plays in that bathroom, and if they do, they're going to get droned out pretty fast.
I think this is the olden way of playing things when you have a Pulse, for example, that's playing downstairs and you want a Nitro with it. That hasn't really been the case for a while now. It's a bit of a rarity, just because the attacker is so much more efficient at assaulting from exactly the spot you were talking about. Like, it's definitely not unusual to see an Ashe just entering from that delivery door and just staying there for a while to make sure they clear out the entirety of the bottom.
It's funny that BDS bans Buck and then just uses the secondary shotty on Gridlock. I mean, that's smart, right? You don't need it.
It's that, yeah, I guess that's not exactly what they want to do with her, but or what to do with him. And there you go. There's.
Oh no!
You don't want to use the breaching round, but he's going to be able to drop the Mozzie. Karjeka is.
If Joystick's next, we know where this round's going.
Yeah, I'm quite sad that Dan hasn't really had much of an effect on the round so far, but there's Alems. He's down, and can you find the second one? There's the pre-fire. So close. Shepard pulls out the shotgun and fires into the side, actually, of the map. And won't be able to find anyone. There's Joystick on the run-out, trying to check for anyone on the rappel, and that'll be Rafal. That actually gets spotted and taken away. Drones will be spotted. And Joystick is setting himself for a gunfight here. Doing a bit of damage, pulling out the pistol. He's still there. He's still in the bar. Shepard gets Shaiko, but it's Renshiro on a Dan. Usually when Shaiko goes down on BDS, that means Empire are looking better and better.
One thing I really like about the way Empire's playing is they almost always expect to be traded. So when they get a kill, they immediately turn, or even when they take shots, they immediately turn and expect to flank.
There's the Nitro, and it gets shot in the air. Very well done there by RXWD. And Renshiro is holding on to a window as we speak, something that is very traditional, to say the least. Bit of damage done to RX before he's able to drop in, and Shepard actually gets taken out, dropped on the floor in the meantime, before he could tap his smoke canister.
They've got to play time at this point, 15 seconds left.
This is so smart here from Empire to go for the pickup on Shepard. He still has utility, he's going to be using it. RXWD focusing down to get the plant, but no! Right before he's able to put it down, it's the kill that come out from Joystick. Oh no, RXWD is dropped on the floor. Spray through the wood. And there it is. Victory for Team Empire, a 7-3 on Coastline. Definitely way better than what Empire have been doing over the past 6 months on this map.
That was a much closer round, though, for Empire as well. It definitely came down to BDS doing a better job adjusting for what Empire did the first time on Hookah, but Empire absolutely came back on that and played time smart. I mean, that got pretty close as well, not being able to find a lot of players. You saw a lot of blind spraying towards the end, spraying towards Cool Vibes, spraying into the bench inside Hookah, just trying to
just in
hits.
case.
Yeah, like we've got bullets left because we've been conservative all around. Let's just spray everything. If we get the kills, we got time advantage right now.
Even if it do 1 damage, we're not going to be the ones that just push out and fight, and you're not expecting BDS even to run into you and go for gunfights. So it makes a lot of sense to just throw rounds downrange.
Yeah.
And it stuck. A couple rounds stuck there, and it made it easier later on for Joystick to fire his last couple rounds that went through the wood and got the tag on the player planting in the back. That was RXWD playing on the gridlock, and it was done. Finished him off with a pistol, and the round was over.
Yeah, absolutely great performance by Empire. Some good performance back by BDS, but at the end of the day, Empire takes it.
All right, well, we have our interview ready, so let's go ahead and have a quick chat with Joystick.
Hello.
How are you, Joystick?
Fine, as always.
As always. Now you go for a 7-1 victory against Vitality, 7-3 today against BDS. I really want you to walk me through some of the changes that you guys have had when it comes to the lineup, because we saw you now playing on more of a flex support role.
Yeah.
You have, Scyther, more of an opener, but Karsheka is also doing quite a bit of work for the team now.
Yeah, we just changed the role with Dan and Scooter. Sometimes we change the operators, and I think it's we can be more flexible and do more quicker. Sometimes something like kill somebody or destroy ADS or something like that. So we just change position. That's okay.
Now, a lot of times we don't get to see how the kills happen, like the setup to the kill, but when we do, we see a lot of droning on your end. It seems like Empire's rounds start off very slow when you drone a lot, and then suddenly you descend and find a kill, and out of nowhere, the round's over. How do you set up for that, and how fast is the communication in the team? Because everything seems like it's executed perfectly.
Yeah, we just always first drone and then kill, and Shepard is the best droner in the world. I don't know, he just stay on drone like 2 minutes in rounds and just he have all the info, and we just know how to execute frag and what we need to do to execute him. So he's the best.
But that's what you do on defense, on attack, excuse me. But how does it go on defense? Because you don't have the luxury of, having access to those drones. Does the Mozzie play a lot into it in setting you up, especially when you're running the Jaeger?
We just know where are they from coming, and look first round where they're coming, and then in the second round we just prepare some holes, and someone play below and heard the info where they come in. That's why we don't have so many info with the cameras. Like we just take info in the last 2 rounds, I think Maestro and Moji. Yeah, and we destroy their info. We pick mute, so we know that without info they can't do anything fast, so that's why.
All right, well, that's done. Congratulations on your victory. Anything you'd like to say to all the fans or anybody out there?
Of course, we love you all. Our fans are the best. Mwah.
That's a hell of a kiss. I know there are people, literally millions, fighting over that kiss right now, Joystick. So thank you very much for that, Daniel.
Yeah, thank you too.
So your next matchup, who is it going to be against? You're going to have a couple big games coming up to finish off as well the half of the season. But next up, you're playing against Rogue. That's going to be a big game in general. How do you prepare for them? You have a week pretty much to get ready. What scares you about Rogue more than any other team, if anything?
We don't scare anything. We just know that we can beat them. We beat them before, and I think it will be really 50-50 matchup because they change roster and they have some strong maps. We have some strong maps, so I think it will be a really good game.
All right, we hope so too. So thank you very much, and good night. Congratulations.
Good night.